Let's talk about personal dilemmas. And there's a saying that the best way to avoid doing something is to be confused. And the best way, I guess another word for being confused is being in a dilemma. Being in a dilemma can be absolutely exhausting. It paralyzes us from doing anything. And if you think about why we get in a dilemma, it's a couple reasons. Number one is we want to figure out how to make something work before we decide to do it. And when we get stuck in the how versus the decision, then I call that faithless-based thinking. Whereas faith-based thinking is I decide, then we figure it out. And I'll give you a great example about how we're pre-wired to make the decision, then figure it out how later. And that's just about having children. Think about it. You don't sit down with your wife or your husband and say, you know what, before we decide to have children, let's figure it out. How are we going to handle little pumpkin here dealing with sneaking out of the house and seeing boys? How are we going to deal with Johnny getting in a fight in school? No, you have the kid, then you figure out how to raise them. And the same way about life, we've got to approach life with make the decision to live, make the decision to be successful, make the decision to take a risk at work, then figure out how to make it work. It's all about the decision. And if you look at the root word or the rooting of decision, it's side. And decision rests with suicide and homicide and genocide. Then there's decide. Basically, decide means killing off options. And that's what we have to do to get out of dilemma, get out of being confused, is decide. Kill off all other options. That's important. And the reason why we don't do that, another reason why we don't do it, is that we fear if we make a bad decision that we look bad. So the whole time is we want to look good, and the best way to look good is avoid looking bad. But face it, folks, we're going to make bad decisions, we're going to look bad, and that's just part of the human condition. So from this point forward, if you want to avoid being exhausted, make a decision. Get out of dilemma.